was issued with a recognised code word. It said that between 1700 and 1715 hours on Friday in Ashford, Óglaigh-na-hÉireann volunteer Ronan McLaughlin lost his life on active service while under the orders of his military leaders. Ronan McLaughlin was given a paramilitary funeral, which started in Ballymun and concluded with his burial in Glasnevin Cemetery. This was the first real IRA funeral in the Republic, and many well-known Republican figures attended the funeral. The other 5 gang members appeared in court, charged with the Ashford raid.
All 5 were charged with possession of firearms with intent to endanger life or cause injury to property. They were also charged with possession of firearms with intent to commit robbery.
In the context of the strong criticism that the members of the Gardaí who had gone sick that day received, this was a major morale boost, not just to them but for the force in general. And the fact that these 5 men were arrested was greeted universally with a sense of relief.
Later in 1998, all 5 members of the Ashford gang pleaded guilty and were sentenced. 3 men were given 8 years each. 2 were sentenced to 7 years.
The Ashford raid was undoubtedly a major success for the Gardaí, but it also focused attention on the problem of dissident Republicans and the fact that they were attempting fundraising operations. And from that moment onwards, the primary focus of all the security agencies, north and south, was to stamp out the real IRA.
After the Ashford raid, there was a security meeting at government buildings in which the then Garda Commissioner Pat Byrne and his senior advisors had a meeting with Taoiseach Bertie Ahern and his ministers and told them that the real IRA at that stage represented the biggest single security threat to the state.
The botched raid was a setback for the real IRA, but not, one could argue, a major setback. They still had their expertise in explosives, culminating tragically, of course, in the Omagh bomb.
In the wake of the Omagh bombing, tough new security measures were promised to crush the dissident Republicans responsible for the outrage.
After the Omagh bomb, the real IRA called a brief ceasefire. The group were under tremendous pressure after the Omagh atrocity and have since been reduced to carrying out small-scale operations. However, in February of this year, the real IRA broke its 5-year silence and announced that they were preparing to launch a new offensive, a threat taken seriously.
Well, next week's Heist looks at a clinically executed ramming which led to the biggest ever cash raid in the history of the state, the unresolved and unrecovered 1995 robbery of £2.8 million from a Brinks Allied depot in Clonshaugh in County Dublin.